Welcome back to Tam. Today, Matzah Brei, or Matziah, which is how I grew up calling it. It's that classic Pesach combination of matzah and egg, and then it's fried. People eat it in so many different ways, and I look forward to finding out what you top your Matzah Brei with. But right now, let me show you how I make Matzah Brei, and then I want to hear the way you make Matzah Brei. So let's get on with it right now. Truly, there is no Pesach food I love more than Matzah Brei. So I have a pan heating. I'm gonna add to it a couple of tablespoons of vegetable oil and just let that heat up as well. So that's about 2 tablespoons into the pan. Yes, it is oil, it's matzah, it's eggs, can't get more Pesach than that. What I have here is 3 boards of matzah, which I crushed. And by boards, I mean the Israeli American size, not the British size. I don't know how many boards you need for the British sized matzahs, but the American and Israeli, you need 3 boards, all crushed up. To the matzah, I'm gonna add about half a cup of water and mix it around. And some of the water is gonna be absorbed into the matzah, but if I have too much excess, I'm gonna pour that out. But if you keep on mixing, most of it is absorbed in, but not very much water. We still like a little bit of crispiness in our matzah. I'm gonna add to that about a teaspoon of salt, going right in there. We like our Matzah Breis salty around here, though we are not averse to adding sweet toppings. Last week, beginning of Pesach, my son had, the first day we could have Matzah Brei, a Matzah Brei on matzah. I mean, like the craziness of it, because he just didn't feel there was enough matzah going on. All right, salt mixed in, 2 eggs going in there as well. So 3 boards of matzah, 2 eggs, 1 teaspoon salt, and that is your Matzah Brei mix, ready to go. Every family has their own version. This is my family's, and because it was my Israeli grandmother whose version this is, I don't know who else has this, I'm sure loads of people do. I actually grew up calling it Matziah. And when people spoke about Matzah Brei, I had no idea that it was the same thing. So there we go. So truly not Matzah Brei, but rather Matziah. That is our Matziah mix. And into the pan it goes. I'm gonna use the back of the spoon just to flatten it out all the way. And then I'm gonna let it cook. I would say about 7 to 8 minutes on one side at least, because it needs to get really set, all the egg and all the matzah, in order to be flipped over. You want it to be one cohesive mix. So I would say 7 to 8 minutes, but you can judge it yourself. Try picking it up and see if it sticks together. So we're gonna let it go now, 7 to 8 minutes, and then check the underside and see how it's going. Yeah! This is so exciting because I'm having breakfast right after this with Matziah / Matzah Brei. I cannot wait. Let's discuss flipping over the matzah. So it's set, it's great. I've even lifted it and it's coming away well. I would, had I not injured my arm, totally try to flip this, but I have almost no strength in my right arm right now, so we're gonna do this the way my mother and my grandmother used to do it. So you basically just slip it off the plate. The lots of oil kind of helps that. So I've put it on one plate, the uncooked side up, use the second plate to flip it over, and then slide it right back in the pan. The second side only needs about 3 or 4 minutes, but check that out. It's beautifully cooked on the underside. The other side gets a different texture since most of the egg kind of settled at the bottom, but both the top and bottom texture is completely essential for the perfect Matziah. So 3 or 4 minutes on this side before we slide it onto the plate, and it's ready to go. Our Matziah / Matzah Brei is done. It is ready. It smells incredible. And now we need to discuss, there we go, slid right off. We need to discuss a couple of ways of eating this. So let's turn off the heat. I'm still coming to terms with my new electric stovetop. It's off. So I prefer just like this. I don't need any additions whatsoever. But my husband likes putting butter and jam on top. My kids go meaty with it and use it as a hamburger bun. And because I've cooked this completely dairy and meat free, it could go either way. I have a friend who uses it as a pizza base, taking this and then topping it with tomato sauce and cheese and sticking it back in the pan, covering it until the cheese melts. The Matzah Brei is just delicious. It's one of those Pesach foods I could eat year round. I am so pleased that this is part of my family tradition. I hope it becomes part of yours if it isn't already. Tell me how you eat your Matzah Brei. I am so looking for new ideas. As I said, my son put Matzah Brei in between two pieces of plain matzah. It was crazy, but he loved it. So let me know your Matzah Brei techniques, how you're eating it, how you're using it. Let's have a whole conversation about Matzah Brei. What could be better? See y'all soon.